Hey guys, today we're going to look at adding and subtracting rational expressions. And all that means is basically talking about common denominators. If I asked you to add 1/4 plus 2/4, you would get 3/4. So you just add whatever is in the numerator together. All right, so in this first example, we have a denominator that is the same. If we were to multiply this back, you would notice we have x squared plus 3x. So all we have to do is add our numerator together and combine our like terms. And in the denominator, we have our common denominator. So we end up with 5x minus 7 over x times x plus 3. I like to leave it in factored form because that way we can see if anything ends up canceling in the end. And that's about it, literally. That's the most straightforward thing you can do. In the following, again, 10x minus 5 plus 8 minus 4x, you can write it all over the common denominator. Combine your like terms. We have 10x minus 4x, that's 6x. And then plus 3 over 2x plus 3. And technically we could take out a 3 here. So we would have 2x
Can I just get a chair?
plus 1 over 2x plus 3. And that would be the final answer. In this example, same thing, x minus 5 plus 3x minus 21 all over x plus 5. Combine your like terms in the numerator, you get 4x minus 26 over x plus 5. And again, you can look for the GCF if there is one. And you can take out a 2, and you're left with 2x minus 13 over x plus 5. So those shouldn't be too terribly challenging. You're just combining your like terms. Now, when you have things with unlike denominators, you do what you would normally do if we were talking about finding a common denominator with numbers. Our common denominator in this fraction would be 6, and in order to get that, we would multiply this by 3 over 3 to make this denominator 6. So we would end up with 3 over 6 plus 5 over 6, which is 8 over 6, which can reduce. But the idea is to get a common denominator, you multiply by what you need. So in this example, we've got x plus 3 over, I'm going to factor this into x minus 1 and x plus 1, plus, and I'm going to factor this into x minus 2, x minus 1. Then it's a matter of what do they have in common and what do they need. They each have an x minus 1, so that is very helpful. So this guy has an x plus 1, but it needs an x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply this guy by x minus 2 over x minus 2. And the right fraction needs an x plus 1. So it's going to get multiplied by x plus 1 over x plus 1. Whatever you do in the numerator, you have to do in the denominator. So now we have a common denominator of x minus 2, x minus 1, and x plus 1. And on top, you need to distribute all your like terms. Sorry, I was making sure. All right, so on the top, we're going to FOIL here. FOIL all your terms together. So we've got x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6 plus 2x plus 2. So I FOILed and then added in my 2 times x plus 1. Then we're going to combine our like terms in the top. We've got x squared. Then I've got minus 2x plus 3x plus 2x. So that's plus 3x. And then minus 4. I've still got my x minus 2, x minus 1, x plus 1. Now, my numerator factors into x plus 4 and x minus 1 over, I still have my denominator, x minus 2, x minus 1, x plus 1. Once I get to this point, I can look and see what cancels. And I know that my x minus 1's cancel. So my final answer is x plus 4 over x minus 2, x plus 1. And you can kind of state the domain like we did before. X cannot equal 2, 1, or negative 1. And that domain comes from these three factors. Basically just stating, because we can never have 0 in the denominator. So this would be my final answer. All right, so in the U-try, you always start by factoring x minus 2, x plus 2. And then here we've got x minus 3 and x minus 2. All right, so we have x plus 6 over x minus 2, x plus 2. And then 2 over x minus 3, x minus 2. So the guy on the left needs an x minus 3 over x minus 3. And this guy on the right needs an x plus 2 over x plus 2. And then you FOIL in the numerator and you get x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 18 plus 2x plus 4 all over your common denominator, which is x minus 3, x minus 2, x plus 2. When you combine your like terms in the top, you get x squared, and then I've got minus 3x plus 6x plus 2x. So I've got plus 5x, and then minus 18 plus 4 is minus 14. Still all over my common denominator. That factors into x plus 7, x minus 2, again, all over my common denominator. I look and see what cancels, and my x minus 2's cancel. So my final answer is x plus 7 over x minus 3, x plus 2, and x can never be 3, 2, or negative 2. So that would be my final answer there. If you want to go ahead and try B, I think the final answer for B is 8x squared minus 13x minus 12 over 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 4. That is the final answer for B. And then you'd have to put the domain in there. X cannot be 1/2 or negative 4/3. All right. Difference, you're going to do the exact same thing. Just have to make sure to distribute your negative signs. So again, start by factoring the denominator. We've got x minus 8 and x plus 2. Here we've got x plus 4 and x plus 2. So we rewrite the problem, x plus 1 over x minus 8, x plus 2. Put a subtraction sign in here, x plus 1 over x plus 4, and x plus 2. And then you give each fraction what it needs from the other side. This first fraction does not have an x plus 4. So it gets an x plus 4 over x plus 4. This second fraction does not have an x minus 8. So it gets an x minus 8 over x minus 8. Then you just take everything and combine your like terms. So you have a bunch of foiling you need to do. On the first thing, you get x squared plus 5x plus 4. Over here, when I FOIL these two terms together, I get x squared minus 7x minus 8. But keep in mind, you still have this negative sign here that I have not distributed. All I did was FOIL these two terms and put parentheses around it. And then you still have your common denominator down here of x plus 4, x minus 8, x plus 2. So go ahead and distribute your negative sign. You get x squared plus 5x plus 4 minus x squared plus 7x plus 8. I'm distributing this negative sign to all three parts. Still have my common denominator down here, x plus 4, x minus 8, x plus 2. Combine my like terms in the top, and I'm just down to 12x plus 12. Because these cancel, and then combine your like terms. Again, x plus 4, x minus 8, x plus 2. The only thing I can factor out in the numerator is the greatest common factor of 12. And nothing seems to cancel here, so it looks like this is going to be my final answer. And for x cannot be -4, 8, or -2. So that is what the final answer will look like. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and give you the answers for these two. We'll probably put them on the board later, but you can try these on your own. X minus 2 over 2x squared for x cannot equal 0. And for this guy, your final answer is 1 over x minus 5 for x cannot equal 5. So go ahead and check those, do those out on your own, see if you get these answers, and you should be good to go.